All right, welcome back to the channel, you guys. It's an exciting day for me because today I want to officially kick off the Small Account Challenge series. So the purpose of this series is to learn and grow with you guys while we all learn together and hopefully learn from my wins, but also and inevitably learn from my mistakes. So to give you a little background, I've been day trading for probably about 2 or 3 months at this point. I started out with a paper trading account using fake money, showed some signs of success, and pivoted to a real margin account. Now, this was supported by the PDT rule change that allowed me to fund a margin account with no more than $2,000. So when that rule change went into effect, I started to really take this thing seriously. I wanted to see, before I start posting these videos, can I be consistently successful? So I started that margin account with 2,000 and I grew it over the course of, I would say, a month and a half to 2 months up to about $5,000. What I did with that money was I took it out and applied it to pay off my car loan, actually. And now what I want to do, now that my account is starting at about today, a little under $1,500, and I'll show you all the numbers and all that fun stuff shortly. I thought it was a good opportunity to start a small account challenge. I feel like I've proven to myself enough that I can be successful doing this, and reducing my account to a little under 1,500 to start this challenge seems like a reasonable threshold to start a quote-unquote small account challenge. It's a amount of money that I think a lot of people can come close to funding their account with. Now, I'm not recommending that you fund it with 1,500 to start. You got to do what works for you. You can fund it with 200, 500, and I'll talk to you about the broker I'm using as well, because they have a very unique thing going where you can actually fund a margin account, which allows you to day trade and make as many trades in a day as you want with as little as, I think, $200. So really the starting point can be as low as probably $200 for you if you want to follow along for this challenge and learn and grow with me. But for me, the starting point was a little under 1,500 and we started today. So the first thing I want to go over is what I had as far as success today. I am excited to tell you all I ended my day trading session up $175.32. So just a little bit over a 12% increase in my total account value, which brings me up to $1,629. This is a great start, and this is one of the reasons why I figured I'd start my challenge in this series today. So for this series, we're going to be going over my trades and my successes and failures each and every day trading day that I decide to make trades. And I'll kind of walk through what I saw, what I did, the trades I made, and the successes I had, and what I learned, most importantly, and what we can learn throughout this process. But I want to make it clear that this challenge is for, it's for beginners. I mean, I'm sure if you've been trading for a while and you feel like an expert, please, you're more than welcome to watch and just watch me learn and grow in my own journey. But I really want this to be something that people that are just starting or feel like the barrier to entry is too large can latch onto, learn from, and grow with me throughout the process. So my goal for this challenge, I'm going to pick a big number because that is the goal of day trading for me, is to not work a 9 to 5 anymore. By the time I'm 35, my goal is to be a millionaire. I've had that goal since I was, 25 years old. And day trading has been the most promising way for me to get there that I've ever experienced. So I work a very great job. I make a good salary, and I'm not bragging. It's in the 6 figures. If you make any type of salary, I think you'll quickly realize, unless you're pulling in millions a year, it's hard to scale that quickly and feel like you are ahead of the curve and are ever at a pace to say, I'm done working a 9 to 5. So my ultimate goal, I guess you could say, is to make enough money day trading where I don't feel like I need to work a 9 to 5 anymore. But for the purposes of this challenge and to put a big number and a fun goal to it, is I want to make $1 million. So the quickest way to do that is in my mind, day trading. Now, it's also the riskiest as well. I've had days where I've lost, I think my biggest red day was like $1,000. That was in the first month of me day trading. I funded my account, was up to like 3,500 at one point, so plus 1,500 in that account, and blew over 1,000 in one day where I was just spiraling, very emotionally triggered. It was a really bad day for me. I did recoup it, but point to say, day trading is extremely risky, okay? It can be very rewarding, but it can also be very risky. But without further ado, let's get into day one and what my trades looked like. So I started out today. Let me get my marker up so I can draw and highlight things for you guys. So I started today. You can ignore FIO here. That was my first trade technically of the day. It was really quick. I got in and out for a 10-cent gain on 300 shares. I was more so just testing, a 1-cent trade on 300 shares. I was just testing hotkeys at that point. It wasn't really meant to be like a real trade for me. The real first trade that I had was on ERNA. So ERNA popped up around 7:55. You can see here in the morning. So my day trading sessions start from 7 and they go to about 9:30ish. It popped up. I'll pull up the chart for it too so we can go look at it. So popped up around 7:55. The first trade I took on it was at $9.54 a share. It popped up to around, let's see, 960. So I think I was trading it somewhere in here where I saw that little kind of micro pullback there on this red candle. And this one, the second this green candle popped up and overtook that red candle, I made my first trade. What? That's 120 shares. Bought it for $9.54, sold it at $9.63. So I made, we'll say, about 10 cents a share on that. Not a huge trade. I think it was about $12 that I made. But then it continued to move. So I got back in at $9.86, bought another 120 shares on this candle. So the reason I got out right here at first for that first like $12 win was you can see there's a wick here that started to form. And I'll zoom in on the chart right here. It just got at this wick right here. It got a little indecisive. So one of the biggest things that I've learned, let me tell you, and if you don't trade this way, start to trade this way, it's saved me a lot of money and a lot of failures, is if the trade doesn't work immediately, just get out. Because you can always, with a margin account, trade as many times as you want until you're out of money, obviously. So when I got into this trade, you can see the wick formed here, and I was like, okay, it's showing a little indecision. I'm just going to pop out and see what happens. So I popped out when that wick started to form here, and right when this one opened back up, it ripped up above that candle. I saw a bunch of volume coming in, and I said, okay, I'm going to ride this thing. I bought it again at 986 and held it till 1038 on this big candle here. This is the big move right here. This is the candle that I got right back in on when it showed strength, when I saw volume coming in, and sold it at 1038. So what's that, like 50 cents a share? Just about? Yeah, 52 cents a share. So that was like a $50 winner there. After I got out of that trade, VIVS, V-I-V-S, started to pop up. This popped up around, let's see, 8:06 a.m. So bought at 249 is when I entered for my limit price. Okay, yes, so let's go to VIVS real quick. Sorry, guys, I'm new to this, so, I'll get better, I'll get smoother as we get more videos under my belt for this series. Yeah, you can see it made a huge move here, right? So same kind of thing here. So this was the story and message and moral of the day. Get in. If it doesn't work and show strength immediately, just pop right back out until it does. So VIVS popped up 8:06 a.m. Let's see. I buy 400 shares. So I go kind of big here because I had a little bit of a cushion from the ERNA wins that I had earlier. So I buy it at 237, 400 shares get filled. That's right around here. I was buying into that second strong 1 minute candle, and the same exact thing happened. So you see the wick here, indecisiveness. So I said, you know what? if it doesn't know which way it wants to go right now, I'm certainly not going to go down with the ship. I'm just going to pop back out. So you see, I immediately see after 3 seconds, okay, this thing is struggling. So at 806.55, I sell it at the same price, basically a flat trade. Then that candle resolves, it closes. This one opens up, and right when it crosses above that candle and I see more volume coming in, more strength, I get in to ride this thing up. So I get in and purchase it at 269. I got filled at 265 actually, so thank you, Weeble. And with 400 shares, I ride it up to 277, just because it was a good profit at that point. I think it was around another $50 winner. So I was up around 100 at that point, and I wasn't trying to stay in it too long. That's one of the things you have to do here is if you're green, be happy about it and get out of the way, because you never know what's going to happen. It could flush down. We were also getting, a little resistance, and I was worried what would happen at the $3 mark. So I took my wins and I got out. So at that point I was up, I think it was over. It was like $115 or something, 120, and I'm bored. So this is one of the big things about day trading is you kind of get bored sometimes. And when you get bored, you make stupid decisions, okay? When you're waiting for that next A+ setup to show itself, you might get sucked into something else that's moving. So V started to pop up, and honestly for me, V doesn't really fall into any of the parameters of what I should be buying. It was already at $51, but I saw that it had moved like $10, and I was like, you know what? While I'm waiting, I'll buy 10 shares and see what happens. So I buy at 51.05, and we'll go to V just so we can pull the chart up. I mean, you see this huge move. Like V was right at the peak of me being bored. V was moving up. It went from down at 39 up to 51 at one point. And so I got captured by the boredom. You can see I literally bought at the top of this thing, which was just stupid. I was just bored, and I was like, oh, it's moving, Let me see if I can make some money here. So you can see I bought at 51.05, 10 shares, kind of small, but this thing was ripping and swinging both ways, multiple dollars a share. There was a lot of range on it, so it was actually a very dangerous thing to get into, even at 10 shares, because if it flushed back down to even 40, I lose everything I earned today. So it whipped back down to 47.42. I was luckily able to get my 10 shares sold at $49. So it was about, a $20 loss or so. Not horrible, but also just stupid. Just a stupid decision made out of emotions and boredom and me trying to trade something that I really shouldn't be trading. So I took a break there and just decided to wait. So I took that V trade at 826, and I said that was dumb. Let me not blow up my whole winning pot for the day, and let me just wait again and go back to what I know. So then Elva pops up. We'll go over to Elva, and on Elva, I also kind of was emotional, was experiencing some FOMO there. So we'll go up here. You can see it started ripping really aggressively, and I didn't recognize it until way later in the move. And I bought 110 shares of Elva at $13.65 a share. So I think it was around, it would have been around this candle that I bought it. And you can see it goes up, it taps 14.62 and immediately flushes down. When it flushed down, I got out pretty quickly. I was in that trade for all of 6 seconds, and I sold it for $13.56. So took another loss, and I was like, okay, all right, I'm getting emotional here, Adam. I need to rein this in. There was a certain point where I was up $120, and the trades on Elva essentially, again, out of boredom and FOMO and emotion, at the peak of its, price, up at the $14, $13 range, I was trading, hoping for it to make another move. It never made the move. This brought my account, these trades on Elva, all the way down to, I was at, I think, at this point, after being up 120, I was up like $20. And I was like, okay, well, this is not a great start to my day. I think I'm a little too excited about this video series I just decided to start. And so I said, all right, let's be patient. And if nothing else comes, I'm going to be okay with that. So I go into the market open. I just want to watch how some of these things shake out. Sober pops up and starts showing strength. So Sober has been a stock that has been popping up every day at the market open and essentially flushing immediately. So I didn't have a lot of faith in it at the time, but I had noticed and recognized that this stock, let's see, so market opens here. This stock had broken through VWAP, right? So it was holding VWAP a bit, and I was like, I'm just going to watch what it does at the market open. If there's an opportunity there, I'll take it. If not, then we'll call it a wash, and I made about $20 today. So Sober pops up. I let it play out. This is the market open, so you never want to get in on those first, really, I would say, like, first 10 minutes of the market open. You want things to level out and show strength. So I let all of this play out here, all of it right here just play out. I'm like, okay, all right, it's showing strength. It breaks above VWAP. It holds VWAP, and then I get in. Let's see, when did I buy? I bought at, I tried to get in at one point at 234. I think it was on this candle, and it pulled back a bit and struggled. So we got the wick again, which, as I've told you about, when the wick happens, I just sell and I wait for a re-entry if there's going to be one. Got the wick, made a really strong move up here. Once it showed strength above this line right here, this is the 200 EMA. It's the kind of beige brown line here. I saw volume flooding in. I saw this candle here, and I was like, okay, what's it going to do? Is it going to hold the strength? And is it going to make a secondary move or not? Luckily for me, it did. So right when it cleared this level here above that last candle, that red candle, that was like a micro pullback, you could call it. I punched it for $2.36, so it's $2.36 a share. I went big. I went with 600 shares, but I knew that this was pretty much my last bet for the day to make some money back after blowing up some of my wins earlier out of emotion and boredom. And I rode it all the way up basically to the topping tail here. 262 is when I sold. It topped out, you can see, at 263. And I sold that for, what? I don't know, 600 shares, 30 cents. You do the math, but suffice to say, at the end of the day, I ended up $175. So the moral of this story on day one, I would say, is I'm still learning. I still let FOMO take over. I still let my emotions, and boredom is a big one for me. So if I get bored and nothing's popping up, I notice in myself that I tend to start chasing things and making trades that I normally shouldn't or wouldn't make. That's been one of the biggest learning curves for me, is just avoiding the boredom bug. I'm not going to trade the rest of today as like I'm only going to, for this series, I'm only going to trade 7 to market open. Unless I see something setting up at the market open, maybe I'll stay till like what you saw here, like 9:45, maybe 10 o'clock to see if it makes another move. But yeah, so day one in the books, my account is up 12%. So $175. I'm now at my total account value is now at $1,629 or $1,629. Good first day. I have a goal, a daily goal, really of about $100. So I almost doubled that. I mean, I'm really only looking to increase my account value about 5% a day. That's my daily goal. The reason for that is that this stuff compounds, right? So maybe 5% today would only be $75. But now that my account is at $1,600, 5% tomorrow be an $80 goal for the day. So that stuff compounds. That's what I'm more concerned about. It's the percentages, the compounding value, and kind of moving my goalposts with that. If I try to strive for 200 a day or 300 a day, I start to get unrealistic with my current account value, and I start to make mistakes. and I start to make poor trades and I start to blow up my account, which is certainly not something I want to do now that I might have some people watching and following along. So that's day one in the books. I will touch on one thing. If you are a beginner and you are looking for a good broker, I really do recommend Webull. Webull's margin accounts you can open with, I think, as little as $500, and they'll let you day trade as much as you want in it. You won't get any margin, but you can at least make as many trades a day as you would like in that account. I also find that their fills are pretty good. I used to have issues with them when I was starting, so I went to Lightspeed. Lightspeed, I quickly realized for my account size, is probably not the best broker because their commission fees are pretty aggressive. So if you're not making a good amount of money every day, paying for market to data at Lightspeed and paying your commissions can quickly eat into your account, and it just wasn't worth it for me. Webull's a commission-free broker. I can trade as many shares as I want. They're not going to charge me. The user interface is nice, and I've had a good experience with them so far. So if you're looking for a broker, I would recommend Webull. But thank you guys for tuning in to the first day of this series. The goal, like I said, it's $1 million. Okay, let's break out of this rat race of the 9-to-5, the salary, the insecurity of all that, and let's try to do something great here. So thanks for tuning into this video, and I will see y'all tomorrow with hopefully some more good news. So if you enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment, share where you're at in your journey. Are you just starting? Are you seeing success? Are you struggling with something? This is a constant learning experience. That's one of the fun things about it. It is risky, but there's also a lot of opportunity there if you play things right. So until next time, y'all, and until tomorrow, I will talk to you soon.